everybody. This is Dave Walsh with Card Talk coming at you with my solo saga campaign. I'm so excited to continue this thing. I've been excited to bring this to the community for a long time, and it's only sweeter because the card pool is complete, and I've wanted to do this with hobbits, and I've always wanted to kind of do it the way that I have been doing it, and there's just so many neat things that I enjoy about this saga. Super thematic, follows the events in the books really well. It's inspired by the movies somewhat, and there's nothing about this that I would change in terms of theme. Now, of course, there's some pretty junky treacheries, two of which we'll see in this. Hopefully we don't see them, but two are in this particular scenario. So we've made it to Fog on the Barrow-downs. So this calls back to when the hobbits have left with Tom Bombadil, and they get captured in the burial chambers of some of the old First Age folk in the old forest. In the story, Tom Bombadil ends up coming to rescue them. I'm not sure if that's going to happen here or not. Tom Bombadil is a legend card that has made it into the encounter deck, but he doesn't come out as somebody who saves the day in this quest necessarily. So as I do at the beginning of all my saga runs, I just want to quickly go over my deck and the campaign log so that we get everything set up. So my deck here is the standard deck. I think in this scenario there's lots of threat raises, so the Shire folk is going to help out. Plus, there's a whole bunch of need for willpower. To be able to quest through some of these stages really quickly is going to help us out. So attachments like Fellowship of the Ring and Frodo's Intuition is going to be good in the Red Book of Westmarch, which is like my new hotness. It's not really new, but it's definitely a card that I totally appreciate in a Hobbit deck, more so than anything is amazing. And I think that Elrond is going to be of some use here because Elrond can discard a condition attachment, and there's a condition attachment in here that lowers somebody's willpower to 0 and then does other things. So removing condition attachments may be a thing that we see. Maybe not. I don't know. So that's the deck. That's what's going to end up happening. So let's go to the campaign log. And here we have Fog on the Barrow-downs. Again, this is a link to the quest card or the campaign card. We have the boons and burdens that we're using in this particular quest. I have my list of burdens that we've earned at this point. My heroes, some notes. One of the things that I've been doing is I play the scenario at least once before just to make sure that I remember all the triggers and things like that. So here we go. We got 2 boons and a burden. So let's go to setup. I've put Gandalf's delay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Frodo. I was delayed.
Here in the staging area. Actually just put it to the left of the staging area. It doesn't interact with anything. It just makes me have to draw one less card. I have shuffled my opening hand back into my deck because I didn't want it. So now I'm going to shuffle up and draw some new cards. And I only get 1 mulligan, so that's about the best I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Treebeard. There is some ally hate in this particular quest on the 3rd stage, but we have to get that far, so who knows. This test of will is key in the beginning. I mean, this is the hand that I get, so I'm going to stick with it. I have no other option. So let's see. It says you're playing campaign mode. While any player is at stage 4B, the players cannot lose control of the first player token. Okay, so this is where we get trapped in the Barrow. The Barrow-downs will capture us, but we're not there yet, and so that doesn't play a role. So we will do this. We set all those locations aside. So now we flip this over. It says skip the quest phase. At the end of the round, place 1 progress on this stage. Okay, so this represents where we are hanging out with Tom Bombadil and Goldberry, and so we get just basically 1 free round to get a card, and that's great. That's a defensive card. I'm going to play it, and not only do we get the round to kind of get our bearings, but also we get this round to kind of set up for where we are going to, because it's the whites here. They're not horribly strong enemies, but they're not the easiest to take care of. And then I'm going to actually play, I don't have enough to play Treebeard, so I'm actually going to put Treebeard
some call me.
into play, exhausted. I'm going to put a resource token on it. I would rather have Treebeard into play because I'm getting the free round here. I'd rather have Treebeard into play, have him ready for the next round, than I would to have the Dagger of Westerness, which is really funny because this is where they actually show up in the story. So I don't know if it's thematic to have it in this quest, but at least it's thematic to have all these hobbits going through here. So anyways, I put the 1 progress on this, and now we go here. Put Hollow Circle into the staging area. I reveal an encounter card. It's fine. Okay, so that's actually good. I'm glad to see an enemy, because Bilbo can use his ability and target him, and that enemy now is neutralized in terms of threat. So seeing enemies in the staging area at the beginning is less scary for me when I'm playing Bilbo. And now we will flip this card over. Now the fog is rolling in, and we're worried about stuff, and it says at the end of the refresh phase, raise each player's threat by 1. So we have to raise our threat a whole bunch. Okay, that's the kind of the mechanic. That's one of the mechanics of this game. So we've already made it to the end of the first round, so we're through that refresh phase. Of course, in the refresh phase, Treebeard should have refreshed already. Now it's just a matter of making 14 progress onto Across the Downs. Now we can't really outrun stuff. That's the problem. We have to get through. We can't. Well, you'll see. So I'm gonna do my Bilbo trick and put this guy up here. But I'm gonna play the Dagger of Westerness onto Sam. I'm actually going to bring in Quick Beam, and I will use Treebeard's resource and Falco's resource to do that. Now it's time for questing. I'm not going to quest with Merry because I may want to use him to reduce threat. There's a lot of enemies in this encounter deck, so I may be able to reduce some threat here. So that's 2, 3, 6, 8. So I'm going to quest for 8, and there's 3 in the staging area. Long Groping Arm. This is the one that isn't horrible. Do I want to cancel it, or do I want to let it ride? Can I deal with an enemy right now? I don't know if I can deal with an enemy. A white. I'm going to actually exhaust the ring and use the ring right now.
Steady on.
And that's going to throw this back into the encounter deck. And I will reveal another card. So I revealed a white. That's the big problem with this. So that's maybe I should have taken the white. Anyways, this guy has a huge attack. So this is 2. Okay, I make 2 progress on Across the Downs. And I put a damage onto this dark white, and now I have to figure out if I definitely am going to travel, ? Maybe not travel. I'm going to wait around to travel because I'm going to want Treebeard and Quick Beam ready. I guess I'm going to could defend with Quick Beam. I would attack. I would do 5, 4, 5. I could also cancel the attack using Mr. Underhill. I'm just trying to... Maybe I travel. Cancel the attack. I would ready Sam because it would come into play engaged with me. It engages. Okay, I'll do it. I'll make this the active location. Then I'll find a white. There's 3 whites in this deck. There's the Cold White, which has an engagement cost of 35. There's the Barrow Wight, which has a engagement cost of 30. And then there's the Dark White, which to me is a funny thing to say, Dark White. If I can find a copy of the Dark White here. There he is right here. And so he's got an engagement cost of 40. The higher the engagement cost, the smaller the attack, but the greater the hit points. So it's kind of interesting how all of that plays out. I'm going to be able to attack for 8. I guess I'll bring this guy out, put him engaged with me. That readies. This isn't going to change anything about this, but I forgot to trigger Mary. So I'm going to reduce my threat by 3. Okay, so now I have to deal this a shadow card, and I'm going to use Mr. Underhill.
You draw far too much attention to yourself, Mr. Underhill.
Mr. Underhill cancels the attack. Okay, what's the shadow card? It's nothing. Okay, and so now I'm going to attack for 2, 4, 8, and this guy is dead. It's the end of round, so I have to raise my threat by 1, and now I get to have a new thing. Okay, Build a Pony is good. Taking damage is always bad in this in quests, so that's cool. And now we are going to continue on. Having the Dwarven Tomb in here to be able to recur Test of Will is really good. And so now let's quest. So again, I'm going to leave Mary up. I'm going to quest for 2, 3, 7, 9 against 3. I will reveal a card, and it is I'm waiting for you. Each white engaged with a player makes an immediate attack. So this thing whiffs, but it gains Surge. And now we have Chill Fog. So this is the reason why we keep a resource for Test of Will. Okay, I don't even want to have the chance of this thing going off again. I don't want to shuffle it back into the deck. And so I would have to discard all my resources and gain a threat of... it looks like 7. So by canceling that, that's perfect. So I'm going to cancel that with Test of Will. So now I did 9 versus 3. So I made 6 progress. That's 3 on the active location and 3 on the current quest. So I'm making my way across the foggy Barrow-downs. Okay, I get to do more damage there. I'm going to leave that guy up there, and I think I'm going to engage this guy. Okay, so I know he defends for 5, but I do have Sam, and Sam can defend for 4. I know this guy attacks for 5, and Sam still defends for 4, so he may have to take a damage. No shadow effect. Sam does take 1 damage. And now I can attack with Treebeard and with Quick Beam, and that kills this Barrow Wight. So now it's the end of the round. I raise my threat, and now I start a new round. And Unexpected Courage. Okay, so I will take a chance, and I will put Unexpected Courage on Sam. The reason why I say I'm taking a chance is because I would love to use Dwarven Tomb to pull my Test of Will back into my hand in case I get one of those things. But I can also throw the One Ring back onto a Treachery and hope that it doesn't come back up again. Okay, so I don't have an active location, and I don't have much more to go. I have 9 more to go to get through this. So I'm going to quest for 2, 3, 6, 8, 9. I'm going to quest for 9, and there's 0 in the staging area. We will reveal a card, and it is Ancient Barrow. After Ancient Barrow enters play, each player places an ally he controls face down under this location. I'm going to put Build a Pony underneath this. There is some ally hate here. It says 1 plus the number of face down cards. So right now that is 2. So that's 2 threat. So I make 7 progress. I'm up to 12 progress, and of course I'm going to travel to this thing. I did quest successfully, so Bilbo puts a damage onto the Dark Wight. I will engage the Dark Wight, readying Sam, deal it a shadow card, defend with Sam, and until the end of the round, attacking enemy cannot take damage. Okay. Well, and there's Frozen by Fear. This is like one of the worst cards in the game. It's Surge, but then you can't trigger action and responses if you let this card go off, and that's horrible. You don't realize how many actions and responses you have in the game. So I'm glad to see it as a shadow. So now this guy stays engaged with me. I can't give it any damage. I can't gain resources from player card effects. So maybe in a shallower campaign pool or shallower card pool, Steward of Gondor may be a thing that was, necessary to do some of these quests, but I don't have Steward of Gondor in this deck, so everybody's just going to gain resources. I don't think that Treebeard can gain his resource because I think that's a card effect, and heroes gain resources not because of card effects, but because of rules. So I don't think that Treebeard gains resources, but I will still do this, and I will remove a resource from Treebeard. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Now I will put a fast hitch onto Mary, and I will quest. So that's 2. I don't need to quest a ton. I think that I'm going to just try to, let's see, this is 4, and I need 2 more, so that's 6. So that's 2, 4, 7, 9 against 0. So that means I have 3 bonus willpower if I need a card to be 3 or less threat. Frozen by Fear. I have to exhaust the ring and throw that back into the fiery chasm from whence it came here.
Steady on.
I can't afford to not have responses and actions, so I'm going to shuffle that back in, and then I will reveal another encounter card. So now it's a white. Okay, I feel much better about the white, which is funny that I say that, but so that's 2. Explore this for 4, and then I put 3 progress here. So I've made it through there. This comes back into my hand, which is a great place for this because you'll see what happens here in a second. So now the first player adds standing stones, which I will put in the to the staging area. Each other player reveals 1 encounter card, so I don't have to do that. Shuffle the encounter discard pile and each copy of Great Barrow into the encounter decks. And now I flip. Great Barrow's in play. I can't put progress there, and it says after a player is eliminated. So that's for multiplayer. I don't have any reason to do that. So now we come over here to the standing stones. So now everything is good. This is immune to player card effects. I think that I'm going to travel. So in order to travel here, I look for one of those Great Barrows. So I'm going to go find a Great Barrow. Okay, there's a lot of blue in the artwork in this. So I'm going to find a Great Barrow. So I traveled here. This becomes the active location. And now this says, after Great Barrow enters the staging area, remove each character you control from the quest, which is fine because that questing is over. It says create your own staging area, then advance to a separate stage 4A. So these things, this is engaged with me. So these 2 things stay in one staging area. And now I pull a 4A out of the quest deck, if I can get it lined up here. Okay, good. Okay, so now it says, when revealed, end your quest phase, which I find. Discard cards from the encounter deck until a white enemy is discarded. Add the discarded white enemy to the staging area. So now I'm in a separate staging area. Okay, so this is the part where now I've been captured by the whites and I've been put in a barrow. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to find a white enemy. So I discard cards to find a white enemy. There's a white enemy right there. And this is in its own separate staging area. So I'm going to just put it over here to the right of the staging area box. And this is a cold white. Okay. Now I discard allies until I control X allies, which is the number of enemies engaged with me.
Our list of allies grows thin.
So I'm going to discard Quick Beam. So there's a lot that happens here in this transition from stage 2 to 3 to 4. I don't get to have locations, again, which makes super thematic sense because I'm trapped on a barrow. The locations get canceled, effect, and I just raise my threat by its threat. And then after I finish this phase, I put 1 progress on the Great Barrow. So if I go back to my original staging area, see I have 1 Great Barrow and the 1 progress clears it, so it helps. So this is the current quest, and I don't even have to worry about traveling to or getting through this location because that's associated with this quest, but I need to figure out a way to do something with this white. So I'm gonna do this. I think that I will ready Sam. I'll defend with Treebeard because that's just easier to deal with. So defend with Treebeard. Raise your threat by 1 for each damage dealt by this attack. It deals no damage. Whew, thank goodness. And now I will do 3, 4, 5, and I'll kill this Barrow Wight. Now we go for a new turn, and oh, that's great. So I will use Gaffer, and I will bring out Build a Pony, and I have 2 and 9, so I need 11. That's 2, 4, 5. I'll target this white. 8, 10, 11, 12. Up against 0. Okay, so let's see what we get. So I don't have a way of doing this. Here's the thing, if I trigger the Dwarven Tomb, then unfortunately, I can't do that action. I have to be able to play the Test of Will immediately. So in order to do this, I'm going to have to exhaust the 1 ring.
Steady on.
And throw this card back into the fiery chasm from whence it came. So I'll reveal another card, and it is I Am Waiting for You. Okay, so there's no white enemy engaged. I'll do another, so it surges, and I get another Great Barrow. The Great Barrow gets canceled, and I raise my threat by 1. So 12 versus 0. So this is explored and done. This guy gets a damage put on him because I quested successfully because of Bilbo. And I put 1 damage onto the Great Barrow. So this goes in the victory display. Now I combine staging areas, and I can now, I think I'm going to engage the dark white. And by engaging that, I get to ready Sam. I'm going to deal this guy a shadow card. I'm going to bring Gaffer Gamgee back into my hand, and I'm going to cancel this attack. So, okay, Barrow Wight gets canceled. And so now all I have to do is come up with 8. And let's see, Mary's going to chip in 1, 3, 4, 8, and that kills this person. So now we ready. So this is a great time to get Halfling Determination. I mean, there's a lot better cards that I could be getting. Red Book of Westmarch is really good right now. Fellowship of the Ring, Frodo's Intuition, all of those would be really good. Gandalf, something that's going to allow me to lower threat, or I don't know. Of the cards I could have gotten, this is fine because this is going to help me raise my willpower, or it could. Before I enter the quest phase, I'm going to explain something here. Because of the Great Barrow and the possibility of it coming off, I'm going to actually hold Gaffer Gamgee back because I have a sneak attack. I can sneak attack Gaffer Gamgee into play during the combat phase and use his ability. But if I get a Great Barrow that I'm forced to go to, and then I have to go to this stage, I have to get rid of my allies. So I would rather keep the cancellation in my hand than to play and get 1 willpower. So now I'm going to quest. So that's 2, 4, 5. This is up here. 8, 10, 12, 13. So I'm YOLO questing, and I can't even get through the whole thing, which is, I mean, it is what it is. So, and we'll see what happens. So I get an Ancient Barrow. Ancient Barrow says, after Ancient Barrow enters play, place 1 ally control face down under this location. Okay, so that will be build a pony again. I will flip build a pony. Okay, and so that means I make 11 progress. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I put a damage onto the cold white, and I'm getting dangerously close to the point where I'm going to end up having to engage this guy. I will travel to the Ancient Barrow, and I think I'm going to leave the cold white up in the staging area. It's doing nothing right now, and I'm okay with things doing nothing. So the end of round. Make sure that I have this all figured out. Nobody's going to get eliminated. Okay. Another Hobbit Cloak. So I like to have a Hobbit Cloak out just in case, like I have to discard a non-objective attachment or something. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to learn my lesson here, is I'm going to spend the 1 right now and play Dwarven Tomb to go get the Test of Will. So now I'm going to quest. So 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 12. So I'm questing for 12. And there's 0 in the staging. So I'll do this. And so this is Frozen by Fear. This is where I don't get to use action responses. Horrible card. Horrible, horrible treachery. If you want to know how horrible it is, look, I wouldn't be able to trigger Mary's response, Falco's action if I need to lower my threat, wouldn't be able to deal Frodo's response, Sam's response, Frodo's response. Like, all these guys have all these responses. So I could cancel it using Test of Will, but then I'm surging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the ring.
Steady on.
And I will toss this guy back into the into the fiery chasm from whence it was made here, and shuffle the deck, and I will reveal another card. And it's a Barrow-downs. So that is good. Okay. So that's 2. And I made 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm 3 short. So even by playing Halfling Determination, I wouldn't get there. So that's fine. This goes back into my hand. I'm going to travel to the Barrow-downs because I don't want to have to do whatever that trigger is about using your willpower to defend. Okay, and then Bilbo gets to put a damage on this side. So now it's about time for me to be able to engage this thing. And that means I get to ready Sam. I'm going to spend the 2 and ready Treebeard. Sam is attacking for 4. And that's going to end up being able to kill this thing. Treebeard is also attacking for 4, which is enough to kill this thing. So how I'm going to manage this is I'm going to defend with Sam. So in case I get something, I have Halfling Determination in my pockets. So I'll defend with Sam. No shadow. I can actually ready Sam if I wanted to, but I'll attack with Treebeard and kill the cold white. So now we ready, and play Unexpected Courage. Unexpected Courage seems to make a lot of sense on Sam in this quest. He's going to be questing, attacking, defending, doing all sorts of stuff. I'll play Build a Pony, which is funny. Build a Pony is a pony and a creature, so he can go in creature decks if you're using Radagast, but it's strange. It's one of the few cards that have the pony trait. Build a Pony has the pony trait, and I think so does Hobbit Pony. And that may be it. So, Spare Pony? No, that's not a thing. Okay, so now it's time to quest, and hopefully I can make it through the 5 here plus the 3. So I'll need 8. So I will do 2, 4. I'm not going to quest with Bilbo. 7, 9, 10, 12. Okay, so if I get a great Barrow, I'm going to cancel it. If I get a Treachery, I'm going to cancel it. And if I get a Wight, I think I'm doing okay. So I get a Barrow-downs. So that's 2 threat. I quested for 12. So I did 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there it was. I did it. I was able to go through this pretty good. I was able to avoid the really bad treacheries, which is really nice. So now I'm going to flip over this and see what the resolution of the campaign says. I have earned the Ho Tom Bombadil boon card. I've earned another boon, and I'm a little sad that I didn't get a chance to see Tom Bombadil come out and help me get out of the downs, but these hobbits, they don't need Tom Bombadil. Okay, so there it is. Join me again as I take on the next scenario in the campaign, A Knife in the Dark. Have a great day, everybody.